Older and wiser, U.S. Senate candidate Scott Howell comes to campus with his own opinion about Orrin Hatch's age.
Caffeine on campus. Now that the LDS Church has clarified its stance, what does the medical field think about caffeine?
And Jimmer Jam Up. This traffic snarl in the Wilkinson Center wasn't for the fudge. It's all for one special signature. I'm Sean Gordon.
And I'm Lauren Simpson. It's Thursday, September 20th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Some breaking news just in. The White House is now officially calling last week's attack in Libya a terrorist attack. 4 Americans died, including a U.S. ambassador. The Obama administration initially framed the protest as violence from the anti-Muslim film made in the U.S. The White House spokesperson says they will try to bring those responsible to justice.
And elections are only a few weeks away, and candidates are stepping out of their offices and onto BYU campus. 11 News reporter Taylor Lansford was able to talk to Democratic Senate hopeful Scott Howell. Taylor, why did he come to campus?
Howell wanted to connect to his voters face to face, and he also wanted to talk about why he should win the hot seat in the Senate instead of his Republican Orrin Hatch.
Obama, Romney, Herbert, Cook. The BYU political involvement fair was packed with familiar names plastered across banners, t-shirts, and buttons. One candidate didn't want to be another name on a sign, but a face in the crowd. U.S. Senate hopeful Scott Howell made an appearance at the fair, shaking hands, taking pictures, and talking to student voters.
It was good that they got to meet candidates. They got to see local campaigns, because so many people only think that it's about presidential.
Howell runs a tight campaign schedule, but his competition for a seat in Congress is even tighter. Howell is up against incumbent Orrin Hatch, who has 36 years in the Senate under his belt. But Howell says all those years in office shouldn't give his competitor any advantage.
Why should our United States Senate be based upon seniority? It's time to have that gridlock broken. It's time to break the good old boy system. It's time that we have new, bold leadership.
Howell will now get the chance to debate his new ideas directly with Senator Hatch. The incumbent senator has agreed to one debate and one only, and the BYU campus will be the scene.
Orrin Hatch is, he's not a bad guy, but he's been there for 36 years and he's 78 years old. And would you want to debate me more than once?
The Howell-Hatch debate will air Wednesday, October 17th, right here on Channel 11 at 9 p.m.
Well, since this is one of the state's highest offices, why aren't there more debates between these two candidates?
Orrin Hatch hasn't said why he won't do other debates. So far, this is the only one he's agreed to, but Howell would like to do several more.
Okay, so October 17th, 9 p.m. here on Channel 11. Sounds good. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Boy Scout officials say troops violated Scout policy after welcoming Mitt Romney to Utah this week. Troop members can participate in flag ceremonies like this one, but they have to avoid the appearance of publicly endorsing them. Boy Scout officials say they face the issue each election cycle, and they will be working with leaders to reinforce the policy. A week-long sting operation netted the state what they're calling 21 unlicensed contractors. They set up decoy homes and responded to internet ads offering repair services. Authorities cited the suspects and informed them about getting licensed in Utah. Officials say homeowners can protect themselves by requiring written contracts and paying only when the work is finished.
Investigators say the man arrested after entering the Salt Lake FBI headquarters earlier this week did it because of his ex-wife's death. They arrested 41-year-old Robert Joseph Hibbert after he held a man at knife point, demanding to speak with FBI officials. Agents say Hibbert blames them for not charging his ex-wife's new husband with murder, claiming that the man encouraged her to commit suicide.
Freshmen at BYU are often the underdogs on campus, but they could have a leg up on grades. As 11 News reporter Carson McKinley tells us, research shows some benefits to living in the dorms.
On-campus housing may mean smaller living quarters, but it could also mean a higher GPA, or so says a BYU senior's new study.
When you look at just the general effect, it ends up being about a 1/10 of a grade point, which isn't a whole ton, but it can make a difference for some students for scholarships or when they're applying to a specific program.
More surprising, perhaps, is a study found students living off campus to be more likely to go on academic warning or academic probation in their first year at BYU.
That's something that's pretty significant because a lot of those students, if that happens to them freshman year, it will really impact the rest of their time at BYU.
It's not some magic dorm building that will give you the benefits. The study found there are certain aspects of on-campus social life that can add to the academic experience.
Everyone's sort of in the same boat coming into freshman year where they're trying to make a new group of friends, and so that makes for a community type feel.
Here at the new Heritage Halls, what used to be a parking lot is now a big grassy area in order to give students more space for social gatherings.
Plus, with campus a stone's throw away, it's no surprise more freshmen are getting out of their dorms and into the library to study. On BYU campus, Carson McKinley, 11 News.
Once finished, the new Heritage Halls will house more than 1,500 students, giving more freshmen the chance to live on campus.
Zion National Park is a popular destination, but the dangers behind the beautiful scenery became obvious after one man died in a rappelling accident. His foot got caught in his rope and his partner went for help miles away. The police have not released the name of the man who died, but say he was from out of town.
When 11 News at noon returns. Healthy Fizz. The campus caffeine discussion has some asking, what are the benefits and risks?
And soccer spouses, diamond rings are giving these ladies extra kit to their sport. Put your foot on the gas pedal because the fast lane might be getting a little faster. The State Committee on Highways unanimously voted to raise the speed limit, zooming up to 80 miles per hour on more Utah freeways. If the bill passes the full legislature, it would affect I-15 between Mills Junction and Scipio and between Fillmore and Cove Fort. And with the LDS Church clarifying its stand on caffeinated sodas, it leaves one wondering if there are health benefits or concerns in drinking those soft drinks. As 11 News reporter Sarah Clark tells us, the jury is still out.
Many soda lovers like that caffeine kick in their drink. What they may not know is what that extra kick is and isn't doing for them.
Is the caffeine we find in sodas good or bad for us? Many BYU students are asking that question recently. Experts say the benefits of caffeine are being able to perform longer mentally and physically. But there are some downsides like dependency, increased blood sugar, or even heart issues. Although studies vary on the benefits and drawbacks of caffeine, professionals still don't have a clear opinion.
There is not good medical evidence to promote the use of caffeine or to discourage the use of caffeine.
So even though there is not enough evidence to take a stand, experts agree there are short-term benefits from caffeine.
For people who are going to be driving and worry about drowsiness with driving, or worry about drowsiness with test taking, or it could be beneficial.
Some doctors say their problem isn't as much the caffeine as it is the way people take it in.
Soda itself has acidic properties, and so if you add that with caffeine, which stimulates the stomach to make more acid, then you have, kind of two strikes against you.
Even with this uncertainty, doctors say there is a right way and a wrong way to use caffeine.
Use it in moderation. If you're using it once in a while, when you really need it, then it's okay.
Some students started a Facebook page called BYU for Caffeine to show there is a demand for these sodas on campus. No word yet on if dining services will start selling the bubbly drink.
Heavy rains and wind hit Uruguay. The people of India protest incoming Walmarts, and a South Korean rapper thanks America for his success. Here's your look at news from around the world. Uruguay fell victim to heavy rains and powerful winds, leaving behind a crippled capital city. Officials closed 3 of the 4 major shopping centers and evacuated several other public buildings. Abandoned cars and fallen trees littered the streets, and workers had to cut down more to prevent damage. Police report only 3 are injured so far. Thousands take to the streets in India to protest the government's decision to open up the economy for foreign supermarket change. The protesters say they fear that Walmart, Tesco, and others will crush small traders and manual laborers. They say this will ultimately leave India's already fragile economy even weaker.
Oppan Gangnam Style. The South Korean pop
YouTube sensation Psy continues to rise in popularity months after releasing the party hit Gangnam Style. The South Korean rapper's video has more than 200 million views, and he says all the success is thanks to CNN for showing his video. Psy is busy working with Justin Bieber's producer on the release of his next song. And that's your look from news around the world. Sean?
Thanks, Lauren. We've had some nice, cool weather. I'm really enjoying it. Ariel, do we get to see that good weather continue?
Yes, and a kickoff to fall this weekend. Your 11 News weather when we return. Today in Provo, it's beautiful outside. As you can see, we still have some smoke above the valley with some smoky areas from those wildfires up in Idaho still. Should be clearing out from the valley around Tuesday or Wednesday of this next week. We have some light winds that we'll be experiencing today. Currently here in Provo, we're at about 54 degrees with humidity about 47%. And some calm winds, so to keep us a little cooler on the cooler side. What to expect tonight? It's going to be mostly clear skies with a low around 51 and a sunset at 7:27 p.m. this evening. We're going to have, so we'll take a look at the highs throughout the state. Looks like in eastern Utah, we have Moab at about 80, upper 90s. And Provo around 82, Salt Lake 81 with Logan at 83, and St. George at 94. Going to our southern Utah 5-day forecast, we have sun all throughout the week with some showers that we could be expecting Sunday and Monday to cool us off. And looking at our northern Utah 5-day forecast, we're going to have our first day of fall actually this Saturday, and our record's about 91. Usually this time of year, but Saturday is going to be about in the upper 90s, and so it will be a nice kickoff to fall. We have sun all throughout the week with some storms to look forward to this upcoming Monday and showers on Sunday. So great weather coming up, and we'll have some showers to look forward to keep us cool.
All right, thanks, Ariel.
Well, Clint, last I checked, we've got a little bit of a big game tonight up in the land of the famous potatoes. So the question is, do we have any shot on the Smurf turf tonight?
Well, they've only lost 3 games in the last while, but I feel like it's time for the 4th. But BYU's going to have to play a lot better than they did last week, that's for sure. But also next on sports, soccer celebration. 4 of our Lady Cougars heard wedding bells and kicked the single life this summer. And racquetball wonders. We'll take a look at BYU's most successful team that nobody knows about. Sports is next. Stay tuned. It's redemption time for the Cougars. BYU football travels to the Smurf turf to play number 24 Boise State tonight, and a chance to bounce back from a heartbreaking loss to rival Utah last Saturday. Unfortunately for the Cougars, the Broncos are 57-3 on their one-of-a-kind turf. Check out the game on ESPN starting at 7 p.m. Tennis isn't the only competitive racket sport on campus. BYU also has one of the best racquetball teams in the country. 11 Sports reporter Otavio Souza shows us what it takes to play on this successful team.
Racquetball is one of the fastest games. Players can hit the ball at 140 miles an hour, and unlike other racket sports, there is no net. Players say the speed of the game is what makes the sport so unique.
I love racquetball because it's so quick. It's just an exciting game. It's easy to learn, and yeah, it's fun.
The BYU racquetball program started in the early 90s. It only took a few years for the team to win its first national tournament. Today, the Cougars under coach Paul Snyder have a total of 13.
With a national championship as a player, Coach Snyder believes his team has potential to finish the season as one of the best teams in the nation.
We can be one of the best in the country, and we have a lot of the returning players, so we have a lot of experience returning. We have those that know exactly what it takes to take us to that level.
Colbert is one of the most experienced players on the roster. He says there are some different key elements to play this fast-paced sport at a high level.
First comes is just there's some talent that needs to happen. I mean, you need to be quick, athletic, have agility, be able to, move around in a small space. And then after that, it comes down to, I think, a passion.
The Cougars are getting ready to play a long season. It goes from October through April. From Provo, Otavio Souza, 11 Sports.
If you want to learn how to dodge 140-mile-an-hour racquetballs, the team will have tryouts starting October 8th. For more information, click on Otavio's story on our website, www.elevennews.byu.edu. And continuing the Cougar conquest, number 16 BYU women's volleyball tries to knock off number 14 Pepperdine tonight at 7 p.m. At 12-0, BYU is one of only 8 undefeated teams left in D1 volleyball and have their best start since 2005. The Lady Cougars lead the overall series with Pepperdine 12-8, but the Waves did steal the show in their last meeting, which was a 3-1 victory in front of our home crowd at the Smith Fieldhouse. Rather than hearing the whistle, 4 girls on the soccer team heard wedding bells chime over the summer. 11 News reporter London Clausen talked to these happy newlyweds about this new chapter in their lives and the rockin' season so far.
Marriage is a common theme on campus. Over the summer, 4 soccer players traded blue jerseys for white dresses and ditched the cleats to wear the glass slipper.
It was definitely stressful for a period of time, trying to plan a wedding and work out and try to get back into soccer mode.
Carly Payne Holmo storms the field with her newlywed friends, Stacy Heap, Lindsay Lisenby Cutshaw, and Dana Aldred Cusick. They not only have different last names on their jerseys, but they have a different social life.
Like, I would go out with girls on the team and we would hang out at nights and go to parties and go to dance parties and stuff before, so that part's a little different.
The social life isn't the only thing that's changed for these newlyweds. Their daily regimen has changed as well, on and off this field.
Although it is a change for these players, coaches say it hasn't affected the way they play the game.
They're very focused, very committed. I think it helps that they're together, that they're seniors, and that they really want to make something out of the season. But certainly marriage has been very good for them.
Even with different names on the field, they still have what it takes to win the game. At Southfield, London Clausen, 11 News.
The next chance to check out their flashy diamond rings and killer kicking is September 27th against UVU on Southfield.
Thanks, Clint. Our women's soccer team is looking great this year. What are they right now?
They've been bumped up to 12 is what their ranking is right now.
So
They've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, you got them at 12. You got volleyball at 16. You got some good sports going on right now. Cross country's ranked 2.
Yeah, if we had just won that Utah game, it would have been fantastic.
It's true.
If only. Still to come on 11 News at noon. Fredette Frenzy. Jimmer fans flooded the BYU bookstore to get a glimpse of their star. We'll tell you why when we come back.
A new book about BYU basketball alum Jimmer Fredette is more than just in stores. It also brought the superstar to campus. 11 News reporter Hannah Moritzen went to talk with the fans and even got a little chat in with Jimmer himself.
People packed the BYU bookstore almost 5 hours before Jimmer got there to sign copies of his new book, The Contract. Lots of starstruck kids, lots of students.
Really excited. I've never actually met him before.
He was really nice, and it was so much fun. And he said thank you for your moral support. That's all he said.
And BYU wasn't his only stop.
He came here to Deseret Book by the University Mall, and I caught up with him to ask him a few personal questions.
Jimmer says he loves all his fans, but some stand out.
You know, there's a lot of people, you know, that come up that some of them are disabled and, you know, they're still really big fans, and I appreciate those especially for coming out and supporting me.
And those fans are helping him go from the college game to the pros.
First is just the talent that you're playing against every night. You know, you're playing against some of the best players in the world on a nightly basis, and then the travel schedule is a lot different. You know, you go on road trips for sometimes 2 weeks.
Jimmer's been gone from Provo for a while, but Jimmer Mania won't ever leave. In Provo, Hannah Moritzen, 11 News.
I haven't read that book before, but from what I understand, it's not like the contract that he signed with the Sacramento Kings. It's actually that contract that his brother made him sign when he was growing up, saying, I'm going to do everything I can to become an NBA player.
Oh,
so
wow.
Should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, good job, TJ. Way to stick him to it.
That'd definitely be an exciting read, that's for sure.
All right. Well, that's your 11 News at noon for Thursday, September 20th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.